Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I hope you are doing very well today. Continuing with my discussion of the Criterion Collection Laserdiscs, it is my pleasure to be able to share with you some comments, if I may, about Criterion Collection Laserdisc Spine number 6. And this is the film Swing Time. George Stevens directed Swing Time, 1936 release. This is Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers' dance musical film. And here we have it at Spine number 6 in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc catalog. So let me, if you don't mind, just share with you just some aspects of this release, and we can go from there. So this is, as you can see, the so-called silver cover release, and we've seen this before with other earlier releases from the Criterion Collection Laserdisc catalog thus far, and this is again no exception to that. This is first printing from 1986, and what we have here is a two Laserdisc release, full feature format, CAV format, of a film that is described on the back here as being 103 minutes. So a 103 minute, about an hour and 40 minute or so film that is covered over 2 discs or 4 sides. So two sides on each disc multiplied by 2. So we have Swing Time over the course of 4 sides, plus some supplements, and I'll get to those in a minute. So what we have here is we have the cover, the silver cover here, and as you can see from before, consistent with earlier silver cover releases, we have Criterion Collection running down here along the side here in this vertical fashion with this the uppercase font, as it were. Plus we have the title Swing Time occurring in the upper corner here, plus the red bar that is aligning the picture, which is, I think, a still or representation from the film itself. And this is Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers in mid-dance, as it were. And I like the little touch of the figures themselves seeming to leap off the cover here, and they're actually extending beyond the boundary, if you will, of this rectangle here. I think that's a nice touch. And then we have here in the corner Janus Films Voyager Press with the Janus Films logo here, and then we have the old Criterion Collection logo on the opposite corner here. So again, this is very standard and very consistent with what we've seen before. And then, let's see if you can take a look on the side here. Again, I apologize for the poor presentation, but we have Swing Time appearing on the top part of the spine here. And then starting from the middle and then extending down to the bottom of the spine, we have the Criterion Collection, and the thick fonted number 6 appears at the very bottom here. And then what we have on the back here, again, I apologize for the poor presentation, but there we go. We have Swing Time here, and then Swing Time is the 6th title in the Criterion Collection, a continuing series of classics and important contemporary films. And this edition of Swing Time has been made from the best 35mm materials available. Every effort has been taken to make this video disc as close to the original film as possible. And then we have the layout here. We have an essay which is written by John Mueller, who also provides the audio commentary for this film. And he has a very, I think, well-written essay. That is the first, this is the left-hand portion of the cover art in the back. And this is, again, consistent with other silver-covered Criterion releases which we saw in the previous spine numbers, starting from Citizen Kane and now leading up to this spine number 6, Swing Time. Then on the right-hand side of the back cover, we have a description of the special features. The special features here are, as listed here, is that this is a full feature format, CAV format. And then next we have what's known here as a running commentary, and this is an audio commentary track which is provided by John Mueller as well, and it's a very informative, in-depth commentary track, which I understand has been now carried over into the current release of this film, Swing Time, which was made very recently as a Blu-ray in the current Criterion Collection catalog, and so that's very interesting. But here we have where it first appeared, all the way back in 1986. And then we have a photo scrapbook, which is one of these still frame, push arrow forward types of presentations where we have pictures, and then we have text, and then stills, and then description, etc. So that's a very neat little glimpse into the background and stills of actors in maybe getting ready for certain scenes, maybe off camera, just smiling and joking, or maybe in the makeup chair or getting ready for a scene, etc. Those sorts of things, cast and crew alike. So very, very informative stuff. And then we have the cast and credit list here. And then we have the production credits for the video presentation here. And then we have a description of the essayist, John Mueller, and then description of the 4 sides covering, the 2 discs. So 4 sides for 2 discs. So side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4. The film starts on side 1, continues on to side 2, then side 3, which is on disc 2, and then we have side 4 finishing off the film. And then the remainder of side 4 is dedicated to the supplements here. And this is a very interesting thing. It's not listed in the special features here, but also included among the supplements is a clip from the film Hooray for Love, the 1935 film Hooray for Love. So it's, in fact, that's another extra supplement which is included as part of this release of Swing Time. Not only do you get the audio commentary, not only do you get the photo scrapbook, as it were, but you also get the clip from the film Hooray for Love. And the clip is the Bill Bojangles, Robinson, and Fats Waller performance in Hooray for Love. And this is an important scene, actually, because it forms the sort of basis of one of the dance numbers that Fred Astaire performs in the film Swing Time. So Fred Astaire performs a dance number which is considered to be a kind of take on a dance number from Hooray for Love, and therefore we get the scene, not the entire film Hooray for Love, but we get that scene Hooray for Love as one of the chapters here on the 4th side of this Laserdisc of Swing Time. And this is really good because it also has a commentary track over that particular scene from Hooray for Love by John Mueller, and he describes the history of that film, the history of the performance in that film, and how Fred Astaire may have been trying to make connections in some way or another with that film through the dance number that he performed here in Swing Time. But I'll try to get into more details about that in 1 second. But that is another special feature which I would also emphasize is not present on the Criterion Blu-ray release of Swing Time. There are a lot of great Blu-ray special features on the Swing Time recent release in the current Criterion Collection catalog, but it does not include, as far as I understand it, the clip of Hooray for Love that is actually included here on this Laserdisc. And so I think that's what makes this Laserdisc very interesting in terms of a means of being able to compare the 1935 dance number with the Swing Time dance number. And then we have a description of what's on the audio tracks. Let me just round out the conversation here by pointing out that the discs, the two discs here, are in the sleeves as follows. So we have, let's see here, we have the first disc, which is here, which of course is sides 1 and 2. So we have a very nice picture from the film. And then we have, again, it's very difficult to make out, but it says on the spine here, sides 1 plus 2. And then the back is swing time 1 plus 2, which indicates side 1, side 2. And then we have a breakdown of the what's called an outline of John Mueller's commentary. So this is a sort of a chapter listing of the John Mueller commentary, which is, again, different from the chapter listing of the film itself. But so if you want to try to find a moment in the film based on the point in time of the commentary, then you can rely on the back of this sleeve for the first disc, sides 1 and 2. So that's really great. So there you have the first disc. Then the second disc is in this separate sleeve right here. Again, a different picture of Rogers and Astaire. And then we have on the side here swing time, and then sides 3 plus 4, which is very difficult to see on this video. I apologize. Then the back of the sleeve, we have swing time 3 plus 4 here, which indicates side 3 and side 4. And then we have information here, a cast, which is a fuller list of the cast than we saw on the back of the actual box itself. So it's a longer list, so it's fuller than what we saw up there. And then we have a fuller list of the staff and cast, the crew and staff, which is again longer than what we had in the back of the main box. And then we have information about Hooray for Love, which is great because this is a cast in the excerpt and also information about the release of Hooray for Love. And again, this is important because that clip from Hooray for Love appears as an extra supplement on side 4. So it's good to have information about the release of Hooray for Love as well. Plus here at the very top, we have release information about Swing Time and its original initial release. Also included with the silver cover is this sort of letter, if you will. This is from John Mulvaney, and again, it's not personalized in any way. It's not written to me directly or anything, but this is a standard letter that's included with all of these silver cover releases of Swing Time. This is specific to the Swing Time because it talks about certain aspects of the presentation, how to enjoy the presentation provided by the Criterion Collection, descriptions about the audio tracks, that there are various audio tracks available, and other things like that, where this color bars are going to appear, etc. So there are a lot of very detailed explanations that are given here about the presentation and the technical specs and aspects of this release. So again, this is something that we have seen before, but this is one for Swing Time. Let me also point out an alternative release of the same film from the Criterion Collection. But this is the black cover version of Swing Time. Again, it's very similar to what we saw earlier in terms of the silver cover release. This time we have the same still, the same picture of the two of them dancing, and they're also dancing beyond the boundaries of the picture itself, which is great. We also have Swing Time here in the red font. We have the Criterion Collection bar going across the top here. We have the Criterion logo here, etc. So this is the CAV release of Swing Time, but then again in this black cover release version. Then the spine, again, very difficult to see. I'm very sorry for it not looking so legible on this video, but it says Swing Time at the top of the spine, and it says the Criterion Collection starting from the lower mid portion of the spine extending to the bottom, and then here we have the number 6 in red. Then we have the back, and the back indicates the same essay from John Mueller that we saw before, and it also indicates the same information. This is also a CAV release, which means this is going to have the film over 4 sides on 2 discs, and we have the same supplements here, namely it's a CAV presentation, then we have the photo scrapbook, which is at the end of side 4, and then we also have here it's called an audio essay. Again, this is the audio commentary track by John Mueller. It's an interesting little detail. On the earlier silver cover release, the audio commentary track was described as a running commentary, and here it's described as being an audio essay. So that's a very interesting thing. But now they're commonly referred to as commentaries. So, but it's called an audio essay here. And then we have the same information that's presented. I should say that this black cover version is, according to the bottom here, manufactured by Pioneer, whereas the silver cover release that I have is indicated as being manufactured by 3M. So there is the black cover release here. And then I should say that this one opens out like this in a lovely gatefold, and then inside we have the 2 stills. If you recall, were the 2 stills that adorned the covers of each of the sleeves that we saw on the earlier silver cover release. Now, instead of having 2 separate sleeves, we have this gatefold presentation, and each of those stills is now on either side of the gatefold itself, which is a nice touch, I think. And then we have Swing Time in a CLV release, extended play, like so. This is yet another release from Criterion, but this time, instead of a black cover or a silver cover, we have a white cover, and then we have the same gray Criterion Collection logo running across the top, Swing Time in red, the same still with the 2 of them dancing beyond the boundaries, but we have this presentation now in white. This is, I think, a way to visually distinguish it from the earlier releases we saw, including this black cover release, which is, again, CAV, but now we have a single disc, 1 disc only, CLV. And what that means, therefore, is we have the same film, 103 minutes, but now we have it in an extended play CLV presentation, and also we have it over 2 sides instead of 4. So we have the information here. This also does not have any of the special features, so we don't have any photo scrapbook, and we don't have any Hooray for Love excerpt included here. We just have the film itself, and we have therefore the essay by John Mueller here, but it has been modified slightly to take account the fact that it is not addressing any of the special features that otherwise existed on the earlier releases. And so it's been modified slightly, but it's in essence the same essay that we saw earlier. And then we have the information that's presented on the back here. I should say also that this disc that I have here, it actually says also first printing 1990, and it says manufactured by Pioneer Video. And I should say also this is first printing. This white cover is first printing 1990, catalog number CC1200L, whereas this, for instance, this black cover is first printing 1986, catalog number CC1106L. So we have different catalog numbers, and also we have different ISBN numbers. So the black cover, for instance, is ISBN 0-9313993-14-0, whereas the white cover CLV release ISBN number is 0-9313993-42-6. Yes, so there you have it. And then I should say also on the back, we also have certain stills from the film itself, 2 of which, this one and this one, were the same two stills that we saw used in the earlier CAV silver cover release and the black cover release. And we have two additional stills being used here along this, the bottom part of the back cover. And oh yes, before I forget, I should say the spine. It says here, again, I'm very sorry, it's very illegible. Swing Time along the top. And then here, the Criterion Collection. The bottom of the spine, it says 6A. 6A in black. So we have the 6A indication for the CLV release of Swing Time versus the 6 indication for the CAV releases of Swing Time here and here. So we have the use of the A spine numbering system here. Returning to the CAV release for a second, let me say that as I mentioned earlier, one of the things about this release that is different than the current Blu-ray release in the Criterion Collection is the fact that it includes the dance number, the Bill Bojangles Robinson dance number, which is part of the 1935 film Hooray for Love. And that excerpt is included as part of the supplements on the CAV release of Swing Time here. Now, this is actually a very important thing, and I just want to mention this very briefly. The dance number is said to be the inspiration for Fred Astaire's Bojangles of Harlem number, which occurs in the film Swing Time. Now, John Mueller, who is a film historian and he is an expert on the films of Astaire's and Rogers, and he also provides the audio commentary for this film. He also provides an audio commentary track which can be heard as an optional track to the excerpt of Hooray for Love, which occurs here. He touches, I think, a little bit on the fact that this is the number that Fred Astaire performs in Swing Time, the Bojangles of Harlem number, and he appears in blackface. And so this is considered to be one of the more controversial aspects of this film. The fact that Fred Astaire performs this number in this sort of way. The aspects of the minstrel aspects of this performance, etc., which is, I think, considered very controversial. Now, perhaps it's the most controversial aspect of the film. The John Mueller commentary, as great as I think it is and as in-depth as I think it goes, it doesn't really go in-depth as far as the sort of controversial nature, at least from contemporary viewpoints anyway, of the Bojangles of Harlem dance number by Fred Astaire. It doesn't really go into the nature of the minstrel blackface nature of this, and I think the current Criterion Blu-ray goes into this quite well. It actually has a particular separate new supplement on that Blu-ray which talks about this very issue, and it talks about it in a quite a direct way, and I think it's very important because I think this is something that cannot be ignored. The commentary doesn't go into that, and the commentary track for the Hooray for Love excerpt here doesn't really go into it in much detail, at least as much detail as the Blu-ray for the Criterion release does. And so perhaps for some people that might seem to be somewhat incomplete or insufficient. And if one has that viewpoint, I think that's a perfectly reasonable viewpoint to have. And we should remember that this was a 1986 Criterion release, but perhaps because of that, that is why we don't necessarily get as much in-depth analysis in the context of the Fred Astaire Bojangles of Harlem dance number that we might otherwise be seeking, especially from a contemporary viewpoint. You know, I'm making this video in 2019, and so perhaps one's viewpoint in 2019 might be eagerly anticipating and wanting that kind of discussion. Well, you don't really get it here, at least at this 1986 stage of this release of Swing Time. We will get it though, and we do get it in the current Blu-ray of Swing Time. So if you are looking for that kind of discussion, my friends, I would respectfully point your attention to the Blu-ray supplement that is found on the Criterion Blu-ray release of Swing Time. But regardless of that, my friends, we are still getting the John Mueller commentary, which is also available in the current Blu-ray, I should add. But we also are getting the basis for the Bojangles of Harlem Fred Astaire dance number. That is the excerpt from Hooray for Love. And I think, if anything, I think it's very good to see this work. And I think, to John Mueller's credit, he goes into great detail about the performers that are in that particular excerpt. He goes into the musical backgrounds and the professional acting backgrounds of these performers. And it really provides a lot of very helpful historical context about this particular film, Hooray for Love, and also this particular excerpt and these particular musicians. And I think regardless of the other aspects of the Fred Astaire dance number, which we might find to be somewhat troubling, I think at the very least the John Mueller commentary here for both the film and also the excerpt, I think is very, very helpful because it does provide the background information, and it's presented in a thorough and I think also very sensitive way. So I think it's a very positive piece of supplemental information that perhaps might be further supplemented by the current Blu-ray release of Swing Time by the Criterion Collection. So there you have the just general overview of Swing Time and that particular supplement, which I think is very interesting and very important in the context of further trying to understand this film, Swing Time. Okay, my friends, so that's it for now. And if you have any thoughts or comments about this particular release, or if you have any further information, please let me know. As always with these Criterion Laserdiscs, there are always a lot of little quirks. There might be certain details that I missed, or maybe there are certain details that are true for these particular releases that I have, but aren't necessarily true for others. In other words, there are many possibilities for many different variations on particular releases. Maybe it indicates second printing or something like that. But in any event, if you have any further information on releases of this that you particularly have that you want to share with me, again, the more the merrier. I'm very happy to hear that information. I think it's very helpful for me as a Laserdisc collector, a Criterion Collection Laserdisc collector. And also it's always fun to connect with anyone out there who is into the Criterion Collection Laserdiscs. They are really a great wealth of information, and they are really, I said it before and I'll say it again, they really form the backbone of the Criterion Collection as we understand it today. And so I think they really provide this really strong basis of history, and they already show, even at this early stage, the greatness and the vision of the people at the Criterion Collection. And so as part of that greatness and vision, here we have the release, spine number 6 in the Laserdisc catalog from the Criterion Collection, the film Swing Time. Okay, my friends, so that's it. So until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please, please, please keep on watching a lot of great, great movies. Until we meet again, my friends, cheers.